So let's jump into some advanced keyword research techniques which would take into consideration some of the situations that most SEOs don't really think of in the first place. So situation 3, keyword gap or updating older blogs. So once we publish a web page or an article and it remains the same for a while without being updated, then the freshness factors would go down and we would have to update the blog, right? It is important to remember that we do root keyword research again in this situation, because keyword research is not something that's very stable, because trends fluctuate. At some periods of time, people might be very curious about a certain subtopic or a certain question, and over time, something else might be trending which we need to cover in the article. Makes sense, right? Let's say we used to have a blog in the SEO tips keyword or the topic, and we used to rank in the first or the second place, and now we have gone to 10 or the second page of Google, which makes us drop a lot of traffic. So let's just say this is the page, this is our page, this Simply Learn is the domain that you are working for, this is the company you are working for, and this page just dropped down. Okay, so this is the page Simply Learn. So how do we update? So what we need to do here to improve the rankings is update the blog. So from an SEO content writer's perspective, all you can do is update the blog, right? So some of the blogs, so you could see this is 2022 and still they are, the header tag it's 2021. So that itself is the main thing that we need to update. So anyways, to update the blog, we need to know which part of the blog we need to update and why our competitors, all these people in the first, second and third or fourth, are ranking better than us. So we need to analyze the keywords and the content that they are ranking for and that they are doing well in, but we are not doing well in such things. So what we can do is, there is a tool called as keyword gap. Like for example, a lot of third-party tools have it. I like to use the SEM Rush tool for this purposes. So what you need to do is just plug in the domain or the URL of your page that you need to update and put it here. It shows as view, right? You go ahead and plug it in here, and then these are all the competitors domain. Like you could go to the first, second, third ranking domains in the particular search term that you are trying to rank for, and then you can just plug them in here, and then if you just click compare, you could have as much competitors as you want. Some of the tools might have some restrictions because they could also only analyze certain number of things. So when you put it here, you could see you are sharing 28 keywords together, and then there is 5 missing keywords between you and them. You as in the Simply Learn that we are trying to do. So you could see free search engine optimization tips, SEO service tips. These are all the topics that they are ranking for, but we are not ranking for. As you can see, the number is 0 here, whereas the number is high everywhere else, and the volume is also given. So what you can do is go ahead and write a subtopic on this, and if these can be separate subtopics, go ahead and do so, SEO services tips. And if not, you could go ahead and write a small subtopic or just a small section on it, right? Just adding the keywords might not help you rank there. And you could also see weak. These are all the keywords that they are getting better rankings, but you are not. So go ahead and update these as well. So untapped, there are so many untapped, and that your domain has no rankings for, but at least one of the other competitors do. And you could see all of these things, unique keywords that your domain has ranked but other competitors do not. So these are your strengths. You could go ahead and update these subtopics as well. So you could use the keyword gap tool to analyze your blog and compare it with the well performing blogs and see if you can update content in such keywords that we get in the keyword gap tool. But sometimes, just sometimes, we may not really get much insights in this aspect. So if that is the case, then you would have to do root keyword research again. So you know how to do root keyword research, right? We saw it in the previous demonstration. Just go to keyword.io tool and plug in the target keyword. If we plug in the target keyword, we will get, why do we have to do this again? I'll let you know in a couple of seconds. SEO tips. So if you scroll down there, one thing that we need to understand about the keywords and the fluctuations in the trends is they will fluctuate. For example, for SEO tips, it might not be very valuable for you to write about YouTube SEO tips, right? So the trends here will change. When you first wrote the article, keyword research tips might have greater search volume and greater search trends and higher competition before, but now things about SEO, the stats about keywords will change as time progresses, right? Only some of the keywords will be evergreen, where the search trends is always up and the keyword volumes are always good. So these are broad keywords. Anyways, what you need to do is again export them and then go ahead and paste it there like we did in the previous demonstration, and compare how the keyword volumes changed before and now. And based on that, the new keywords that are in the uptrend, you could potentially update that section of your blog. There is always more value that one could add in a blog, so that is what I recommend that you do as well, right? So that is it with this guide.
Note, this method does not really apply to landing pages or product pages, because the purpose of those pages is for conversions, to increase the conversions of the web page, and updating them doesn't involve much of keyword research, and that should be done differently.
So while we are doing this root keyword research, what should we look for? Because we need to prioritize certain keywords and make sure under these keywords. So root keywords means subtopics. Like each root keyword might directly be relevant to a subtopic, and we might have to prioritize certain root keywords, which would imply that we would have to revamp or rewrite or add more resources to that particular subtopic. So what are these root keywords that we need to prioritize? So prioritize keywords with high volume, okay, and then prioritize keywords with positive search trends. Search trends is something, a small graph that you might be able to see in the keyword research tool. And then update the content in the subtopics where we hope to rank but we have failed. Like when we first created the blog, we might have hoped to rank for certain keywords or even root keywords. So we might have invested a lot of time and effort into creating that particular part of the blog. So you will also have to update the content in such subtopics, so that because the content that we already wrote did not work, so something is going wrong. So make sure you update those kind of subtopics as well.